Hello, happy Friday, everyone. I am your host, StatATL, and we are in for the final iteration of some playoff best ball here in the returns. We're going to talk some strategy. We're going to rip some drafts. We're going to have a good time. Won't keep you too long. Got to do dinner with the lady here in an hour, so we'll keep our time spent to a minimum. But again, have had a lot of fun with you guys the past 2 or 3 weeks doing these streams every day. We've had some really good turnout, a couple hundred of you every day so far. So really appreciate you spending some time with me drafting some of the returns contests on Underdog. So I think the exciting news of the day was around noon today. Underdog released a new Mitten 3, and it is 7 hours in the books, and it is almost 8,000 people in it already. Averaging over 1,000 people an hour jumping into this bad boy. So obviously, the interest for playoff best ball is still alive and well in these return contests. So appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to rip a couple of these here tonight. The gauntlet is full. There is a bigger mitten, which is about 75-80% full, a $500 entry. We won't be doing any of those on stream this time. And we've got the big mitten returns, $100 entry. We might do one of those. That one is also about 75% full. So we're going to start by hopping in here in the Mitten 3. This is a 1 of 4, 1 of 12, 450 person final. So we'll talk a little bit of strategy as we hop in. It is filling up now. These two tend to fill pretty quick. I was the first person in this room. It is now 2, 3, 4, all the way filled up. Generally filling like every 30 seconds, these rooms. Oh man, a lot of fun faces joining us along today. I see my man Raise It 77. I see Pepperatoni. Lots of kind of daily listeners joining us today. Gotham Guy, I think, might be a listener as well. I've definitely done a lot of drafting with him, both on stream and off. So excited to do some drafts again here. And I think when you're in these contests with the 1 of 4 advance and then the 1 of 12 in the second round, the hardest round to advance out of obviously is that second round. So we're going to try to construct rosters today, as we have all week, with teams that give you the ability to have 10 live active players next week. When you're going up against 12 teams in a pod and you have to be the top scorer, I don't want to be playing that shorthanded. I certainly don't want to do that to myself on purpose. So I'm not going to be pairing up. For example, I've already got Amon-Ra St. Brown now on this roster. I'm not going to be having any commanders on this build. I want to ensure that I have the highest likelihood of 10 active guys next round if I were to advance. So board starting off pretty standard. Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Barkley. I expect my man Pepperatoni to take Derrick Henry. I think he's got a ton of exposure to him, if I remember correctly from previous streams. So, pick your lane, go 100 miles an hour, my friend. He's making us wait the full 30 seconds to let us know he's taking Derrick Henry. We'll see what our guy Gotham does here at the 1 spot with Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Jameson off the board. I would expect him to take another Detroit player here, maybe two. We'll see how he decides to proceed. He takes Xavier Worthy. So to me, this opens up an interesting kind of a plan of attack here. I think that the appropriate play here is to take James Cook. Just because the only Detroit players are here to my left, meaning David Montgomery should theoretically come back to me at 15. It really doesn't make sense for any of my opponents to take him to my right as just a complete one-off with no other kind of Detroit pieces available, but we'll see what they do. Four hole has Henry Andrews, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, building out for Philly, Baltimore. Raise It takes Josh Allen for literally no reason when he's already got Philly and KC pieces. I know that that's clearly the stack that I'm building, but to me, this is a mistake from Raise It here. Definitely exposing myself here in this build with Allen off the board at 14. For Gotham, if he had decided to go Jared Goff there with Laporta and Gibbs, which is certainly a viable attack that he could have gone. I think for me here, this is lean into Shakir with Cooks already. Again, no reason for Raise It to take Goff, no reason for Pepperatoni to take Goff. So this is a spot where it makes sense for me to push quarterback. Doesn't mean that that's how it will work out, but that's how this build should be constructed. He takes Lamar. Again, that makes no sense. But it's still fine. Like Pepperatoni here should take Hurts and then add probably another Baltimore piece like Bateman. Yep, I like that from him. And then we have to see if Raise It, a common person here in our stream, will be so bold as to take 3 quarterbacks. Do the disservice to a red badge. If Gotham hadn't taken Puka here, this is a build that I would have considered. I would have considered Rams. Could have considered them still to go Kyron and then, add a Cooper Kupp or Tyler Higbee like in the 10th round. That was something I considered as well. But I'm also just as happy to grab Kareem Hunt here build out with 2 more Buffalo pieces, and then add, a Juju Smith-Schuster, a Justin Watson, a Noah Gray here in the 10th. One of them will be available. Pepper, thank you for stopping by. Kiss says thought auto pick was coming in, buddy. I was a little nervous for it too, to be candid, but thankfully these are the $5 drafts and not the $100 or $500 drafts where I would feel like I would be infuriated if I was watch someone take 3 straight quarterbacks. Do I want another pass catcher? Or do I take Ty Johnson? I'm going to take Ty Johnson. I think this is a little off the board to have Cook and Ty Johnson. But I think we'll be okay with that. And then we will add. Do I want to add? No. So this is one where I would have considered Tim Patrick here in the 10th. I might consider Khalif Raymond here in the 10th. I think this is a continue to be a spot for Juju, for Justin Watson, for Noah Gray, all as possibilities for my particular build. Looking at Raise It, he goes Barkley, Devontae Smith. That's it. He's got 2 Philly pieces. He's got Allen and Lamar Jackson. We both know how I feel about multiple quarterbacks. I also don't like multiple quarterbacks playing against each other, so going to lose half your roster next round. Team is probably dead to advance out of the round of 12, second round. Question here is, do I want to? I think I add Khalif Raymond. I think that has the most value for this roster versus adding another kind of ancillary piece to a Chief here for a 4-4-2. I don't mind making this like a 5-4-1. That's totally fine. Let's see what our friend Pepperatoni did. He went Henry, Andrews, Bateman, Flowers. So he's got 4 Baltimore pieces, got A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Hurts, adds Gainwell, so 4 there, and then adds 2 with Nico Collins and Joe Mixon. Don't mind that. I like that construction, Pepper. And then Gotham goes Gibbs, Laporta, Worthy, Mahomes, Pacheco, Hopkins, and Noah Gray. So he's got 5, 6. Yeah, 5-3. 5-3-2. Yeah, 5-3-2. Yeah, don't mind that either. Yeah, so I think everybody in this draft, outside of Raise It, I just don't love 2 quarterbacks. I certainly don't love 2 quarterbacks who are playing against each other. It just means that you're going to be losing either several of your Buffalo pieces or several of your Baltimore pieces. Like, I just don't love that. So let's rip another one, guys. Heading over to the lobby, into the mitten 3. Let's go at 79-30. Man, that felt quick. Hopefully you guys were able to get in. I try to pause and tell you where I want to go. Raise it again. Tried to pause myself or mute myself there. Don't know if I did it. In the 3 hole here, got Raise It in the 101. B Gosh and MJ D Boom joining us in this particular draft. Mike says had some frustrating drafts on DK today. I think I'm done there. Mike, I have not been drafting there. I find DraftKings to kind of be the wild west in these type of drafts. If you think watching some people take 3 quarterbacks in a row here is bad, just draft on DK a little bit. Pepper says missed this room but avoided raise it, which I consider a win. Maybe we'll catch you in the next one, Pepper and Tony. I mean, I find it so hard for me not to take Lions when they're available to me in the first round. I still think they're the most likely team out of the NFC in the Super Bowl. And so if they're in the Super Bowl, you need them. Man, I feel like we start off so many of these builds with Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams, but I'm certainly not factoring in just this week. But again, you do have to advance this week, and the Lions have a 33-point total. So, if you need to get some scores out of guys this week, I think Derrick Henry is a really strong bet for a really strong score, and I think one of these Detroit pass catchers is going to give you a really strong score. I'm leaning all the way into Detroit here, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. So B-Gosh here in the two hole. I don't like taking 2 quarterbacks in the first 4 picks. I mean, I think that's quite a mistake. I probably could push this since I know that he's going to take Hurts, and give me a second here to kind of decide where I want to go with an NFC team. Like, this board is pretty thin in NFC at this point. I think this has to be Baltimore. Don't pass on Dallas Goedert. MJ Boom, that's such a mistake. Like I think that this is the play for me at a little bit of a weak position, and maybe just play this as just a one-off, and then grab Isaiah Likely in the next pick. Mike says too many idiots that don't know what they're doing, taking 3 quarterbacks all over the place. It's almost impossible. Yeah, I mean, Mike, you got to avoid a bunch of landmines on DK. You have to do it to a lesser extent on Underdog, a little bit sharper group, but still not an easy feat. So none of you guys, I think, in this room. So I'm not going to kind of critique this board much. I'm going to navigate back over to the drafts. We're going to fire up another here in the mitten. And let's need my trusty calculator. Sorry here, friends. I ain't that good at math. We'll go for 8,092. So when you see 8,092, because I think this fills up pretty quick, and I think I'm on like a 3 or 4 second delay. So 8,092 is when we're hopping in if you want to try to draft along with me. Ooh, quick room. 1 filled, 2 filled. Got an open room if people want to draft along. No friendly faces in this one today. Bring 44, Stormcat, Stone the Coach. Don't know any of those. But all 4 red badges, theoretically some more experienced players. Just means there's a strong possibility I may not get to take a Lion here in the first round. I have a general rule of thumb that if Amon-Ra and Gibbs are both gone, like if I'm in the 3 hole or the 4 hole and Amon-Ra and Gibbs both go, I don't build around the Lions. We're going to do something that is going to seem a little weird, I think. I think they've got Kelsey as a higher ADP. We're going to do this. where I'm basically going to say that I'm probably going to build this as a 4-4-2 or a 5-3-2, and either KC or Baltimore is going to be my AFC Championship team. See what Stormcat does. Probably determines what I have to do here, depending on what he does with this pick, which he did nothing of substance there. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Well, we kind of made a mistake there. All well and good. We might as well just continue with the mistake. As I said, I made a mistake. Should have taken Lamar Jackson. Oh, this is a completely dead build. I think at this point we are... I think at this point we're just taking potential high-scoring players. I knew that was a mistake as soon as I clicked A.J. Brown. I knew that wasn't the right approach. I'm ready for this draft to be over. So how do we best attempt to salvage this? Would be building Washington at this point. Washington against Kansas City, which I don't have a running back for that. This is a disaster. Make sure we don't time out here. This would be way too early to actually take Jaden Daniels, but man, what a miserable draft this was. This is probably the worst draft I've ever done. One Baltimore piece, 2 Baltimore pieces, 2 Kansas City pieces, 2 Philly pieces. I mean, at least they could all meet in the NFC. They could all be in the NFC Championship in the AFC Champ. They could all be in championship games. It's gonna have like a 4-2-2-2. That's miserable. Washington. Let's go Austin Eckler here. And probably Zach Ertz. Right? Unless I'm missing anything here. No, that's what we're going to do. Mark, this one is dead. Yeah. Miami is a possibility. Kiss, I'm sorry. That was probably the worst draft I've ever done. Knew I made more than one mistake. It was just time to punt and move on. It was $5 down the drain. We will go here at 82.70. So if you want to try to hop into this one when you see 82.70, that's when we're gonna hop in. Let me make sure 82.70 is even an even fucking number. Nope. 82.68. Changed my mind. 82.68 is a clean room. We're at 82.65. We'll wait for this room to fill, and then if you guys want to try to jump in with me at 82.68, when you see that on your screen, you hop on in. Man, these things fill so quick. I don't see any friendly faces in this one. Maybe I won't draw. Maybe I'll do a better job of not drafting like a dumbass this time. I make no promises. Hey, but at least I'll get to take, let's take Gibbs this time. It says P-tabs, I see a lot of them. Good drafter, bad drafter. Mike says he's in the 4-hole. Mike, thank you for drafting along with us. Kiss, what is I probably asked you this before. What's your handle on Underdog? And thank you for being an avid supporter. I feel like you're in the streams a lot, so I appreciate you tuning in. Oh, Iceberg 7. Yep, that's right. I've asked you that before. The Smelly Badger on Discord. Yes. Makes sense. Thank you for pointing that out. I think you're reasonably active. Try to answer your questions and comments in there as well. Yes, P. Tabbles. Definitely sharp. Starts off with Amon-Ra St. Brown at the 2-hole. Love that for him. Don't love it for me. Henry Barkley. Don't mind that. Like that start for you, Mike. Always so curious. Okay. You took Josh Allen. First round. What do you do from here? James Cook. Interesting. I think I lean full into the running backs here and then play my AFC through pass catchers. This is a spot where with Gibbs and Montgomery and just Jamison Williams, whereas P-Tab's there in the second spot, who's gone Amon-Ra, Laporta, James Cook. Assuming that he like grabs a Khalil Shakir or something like that at 15, or maybe like I would prefer him build through Goff. Like I don't want to have to build through Goff with only one pass catcher. I'll do it if it's the only thing available, but that's not how I want to attack this build. Like that doesn't make any sense. That's kind of what I expected him to do. He's kind of pigeoning himself here for Goff. So the question, I'm going to go worthy here. The question is, do I take another Kansas City piece now, or do I take Mahomes now and not risk getting sniped twice? Who else is building Mahomes? Like, I think I just take Mahomes here. Like Art here in the 3-hole took Kelsey, but that doesn't make sense. He's already got Allen. Like he needs to take Buffalo pieces, or he should take Dallas Goedert. Is who he should take. Kiz says, love a home run ball to start the game to Jamison early and then the Lions. I mean, yeah, I'm not building for just a specific week, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate that. I've got a lot of Jamison Williams. Like what Art is doing, not because it's hurting my draft, but like this doesn't make any sense. His build doesn't make any sense. You took Josh Allen first overall, and you now let Goddard slip away by not taking him at 19 when you went A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and you haven't taken a single Bill. Like, what are you doing? I don't mind him taking Pacheco. Like, if this is a Detroit, Kansas City build, like, I'm probably playing my running backs through Detroit, or at least one of them through Detroit. So, yeah. So this is an interesting spot. Like, do I take Kareem Hunt here? I think the answer to that is probably most times yes. I should take Kareem Hunt here. But I think I'm going to lean in and take Puka Nacua here and build this with the potential of one of these two coming back to me. They both might not, but neither of them might not, but we'll see. If you were going to do that, P-Tabs, why wouldn't you just take Puka Nacua instead of Hollywood Brown? Like, that was, in my opinion, what P-Tabs did here is very suboptimal. Like, he should either lean in and take Kareem Hunt here since he took Hollywood Brown, or he doesn't take Hollywood Brown and he goes Puka Nacua, Kyren Williams, and then can build this out with, Buffalo pieces to go along with Cook and Shakir. Just my opinion. Mike in the 4-hole has got Henry, Barkley, Lamar, Mark Andrews, Bateman. So a really strong build there with Eagles and Ravens. Yeah, I don't mind that, Mike. I would have probably preferred you grab Isaiah Likely there, but he probably comes back to you. I think this is what makes the most sense for me is to go Kareem Hunt here, Tim Patrick. Right? Might not miss anything, right? Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. And then in the last round, kind of make a decision on if I want to add another Kansas City piece. So we'll queue up a couple of those, kind of your Juju, your Justin Watson. Would have to be a pass catcher. Wouldn't consider Samaje Perine on this build. Or do I want to consider like a Higbee on this build, or like maybe even a Cup? I think those are the only 5 players that make sense on the build that I have going now. The guy next to you should take Kenneth Gainwell at 38. Like, that's a mistake. You're building around Eagles. You don't have a running back in the Super Bowl. He's got Buffalo and Philly as his Super Bowl matchup. He doesn't have a viable run. He doesn't have an active running back in the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah. I think this is do this and just play Puka as a one-off. How are you thinking about differentiating your team for the second round? Is it accurate to say a lot of advanced teams will look similar? In my opinion, no. I think a lot of teams are building poor teams that can't advance 10 players. We watched, I think it was last draft or 2 drafts ago, we watched someone build with Lamar and Josh Allen, and they had like 2 or 3 Buffalo pieces, 2 or 3 Baltimore pieces. Like, you're going to lose half of those pieces. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, I mean, I think for me, the biggest differentiation is you want to ensure to your best of your ability that your draft can field 10 live active players in round 2. That's the most it's the most difficult round to advance out of. So that's kind of what you want to try to set yourself up for. I generally, if I'm building around either Mahomes or Goff, like, I generally want, if I'm building around Mahomes, like I basically every time I have a Mahomes roster, I have one of like Juju Smith-Schuster, Justin Watson, Noah Gray, like some of these more off the board pieces. Or if I'm building around Jared Goff, or if I've got a bunch of Lions, like I basically take Tim Patrick or Khalif Raymond. I've even taken some like Brock Wrights. Like, I feel like you have to kind of lean into a second tier piece to try to differentiate yourself a bit. And you probably won't use that guy until the Super Bowl or into the conference championship. Like, it's very unlikely that player that you're taking in the 10th round factors in this round. I'm thinking 85-12, but let me get out the calculator, make sure that's a clean room. It is 85-12, fam. Oh, we got 2 friendly faces in here. I know from our typical chats. I see Pepperoni at the 1. I see Freeze at the 4. Guys that are typically in this chat. Mike says, "Very nice draft." Mike, thank you for drafting along with us. I liked your team. You basically got a lot of the Ravens pretty uncontested there. So, and then built that around, I think, the Eagles, if I'm remembering your draft correctly. This will probably be the last. We may squeeze in one more, but this may be the last draft, unless it is a complete disaster. If it's a complete disaster, we won't let this be the last one. But if it's at least marginal, this will probably be the last one, and then have to go meet the wife for dinner. Let's go grab Terry as a one-off. Yeah, I like that. With him playing the Lions, you didn't build around the Lions, so I think that's quite viable. Pepper, who are you going to take? We're going to see Amon-Ra, we're going to see Gibbs, we're going to see Henry. It's one of those 3 out of you in the 1-0, I think, every time. Couldn't take Puka due to having the Eagles. You could, Mike, but I think it's a mistake. You know, fam, let's do something a little different. Right? Yeah, we're gonna purposely pass on Amon-Ra, because how many times can I build Detroit? And I mean, obviously, we'll take him if he comes back to us, but I wouldn't expect that. I thought about it for a second, not doing that, but Pepper says, for example, deciding on something like Hollywood Hopkins instead of doing something like likely Justice Hill or something on Ravens team. On slate, obviously not optimal. Does it just come down to a volume aspect? Yeah, I would say it's a volume aspect. Reading the board, probably the most important thing. Kind of seeing what your opponents are trying to build, seeing if things that are optimal might come back to you. Our friend Freeze here with 3 different teams represented in his first 3 picks. I do think taking Goddard there was the right move for you, Freeze, based on what you did there. I think that was a smart approach. Man, I think I think this is going to be a time I actually take a second quarterback. All right, Henry, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I take Tim Patrick? I think I take Tim Patrick. Khalif Raymond, Tony. Cam, I think we ended this on a good one. I like this squad. You took Ray Davis. I don't think Ray Davis is going to play this week. But I don't mind that. Guys, it's been a fun road. I think we're going to sign off for tonight. That way I am not late. I promised my wife I'd be done at 8. It only gives me 4 minutes. So thank you guys for drafting along with me. I appreciate you guys all tuning in to the streams the last couple of weeks. I wish you guys the best of luck in your pods this weekend. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. You can find my channel info down in the description. And best of luck, except in the pods that you are with me in. But until next time, thanks for tuning in, and have a great weekend.
1 week season.